You're watching Hoffman Family Gold in a Rush, and we're recapping the Season 1 episode, Hunting a Big Score. So what happened? Prepare yourselves, as this might be the worst episode yet. Andy finds what he believes to be an old river channel upon reaching bedrock. From this point forward, they refer to it as an ancient riverbed. For a reason that isn't explained, they are suddenly unsure if they should run this seemingly great pay without first consulting a geologist. What? Why? What is even happening? They bring in a geologist who previously drilled, mapped, and mined this claim in the 1990s, who luckily was only minutes away and had nothing else to do. He brings along his drill maps, which apparently were never used before this point, which makes no sense, and he points out a section of the claim that has 70 ounces of gold per 100 yards that he never chose to mine, which seems utterly implausible. Oh, and the day he's there, snow is everywhere and everything is frozen, but the next day not a flake of snow is to be seen, which is just ridiculous. And after he determines Andy's area may or may not have been a river channel, they make the fateful decision to indeed run the pay they were going to run anyway, which is an amazing gamble. The plan is to run a 200-yard test. Todd guarantees the cleanup will be phenomenal. The results? 1.3 ounces. And we get Todd's anguished face rub. Finally. Todd says he's speechless and then talks on and on and on and on. Hunter, not content with the ancient riverbed gold, wants to see the 70 ounce per 100 ground for himself. But how will he be able to get there? We are told he can only access it using a specially tracked vehicle, as there is no other way to traverse what we see as flat, open ground. So he drives out to see a guy, who then says he'll call a guy. This is all so utterly pointless. The next day, a 1988 Nodwell arrives. We then spend a few minutes watching Hunter slowly learn how to drive it. We then see him slowly drive across the level ground to the claim area. At one point, he has to slowly cross a small stream. Hunter refers to this as real deal exploring, despite the fact that his destination was recently mined and mapped as early as the 1990s. Oh, and he's also following the path of someone before him. At one point, the Nodwell starts smoking. Hunter is worried if the Nodwell breaks down, there will be no way to rescue him. So it's a race to get to the location and back before he's stranded and deaded. Thankfully, despite this dire situation, they had just enough time to set up dozens of slow drone shots. He finally arrives at what was once a well-established mining camp. Hunter wanders around, touching and speculating about all the old equipment left behind. This goes on for what seems like an eternity. Who thought any of this needed to be on my TV? He takes a few steps away from the camp with a 5-gallon bucket and a shovel to an area he says has never been touched. After filling the bucket about halfway with surface gravel, he heads back to camp. All of this was done just to watch him half fill a bucket with pay dirt? I can think of 100 more efficient ways for him to have done what we just endured, including just walking out there with a bucket and shovel. Upon arriving back, the Nodwell is now smoking from the engine in front, so Hunter exits using the emergency roof hatch for no reason whatsoever. He brings his bucket to the gold room for a cleanup. They find specks of gold. Everyone looks wild-eyed at each other. It's then claimed the ground contains 1 ounce of gold for every yard. You heard that right. Hunter, in one afternoon, found previously untouched ground just feet from a gold mining camp in an area that has been mined for over 100 years, containing 1 ounce of gold for every 1 yard. Oh, and the fox is back. This week they are feeding it fish, hamburgers, and pizza slices. No word on last week's dropped pork chop. Tune in next time when someone steals Jack's broken gold scale. They won't get away with it. You ever heard those stories about rich parents who spend a bunch of money so their kids can make a music video and become famous? I'm getting that vibe here, and it's awful. It's really awful. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed the episode, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, watch the old episodes, leave a comment below. I'll be back again. It's got to be close to the end, I hope, next week.